More than welcome. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. I'm here today with members of the Reading Police Department, Acting Chief Javier Ruiz, Chief Kaiser of the Northern Berks Regional Police Department, Chief Michael Gumbar of the Berks County District Attorney's Detective Unit, and also Charles Prutzman, Assistant District Attorney. We are here today to announce additional murder charges which were filed this morning against Jose Luis Rodriguez. I think that we will need to address the fact that he was originally charged with murder on September 19th, as I recall, and was in jail. And we filed the additional murder charges this morning against Mr. Rodriguez. His last known address was 1516 Center Avenue. He is 61 years of age. He had previously been charged on September 19th with the murder of Junior Cabrera Colon, and that seemed to be the start of the story, when in fact that murder actually took place after the murders which were charged this morning took place. So he has been incarcerated at Berks County Jail since September 19th, 2025. During the investigation of the murder, it was determined that a female by the name of Geraldine Peguero Mancebo and her one-year-old son, Jaden Jr. Peguero, had been missing. So while the Reading Police Department initially was involved in the investigation of the murder of Junior Cabrera Colon, simultaneously they were also involved in investigating as a result of a tip that they received for a welfare check that Geraldina Peguero Mancebo and Jaden had not been seen and were missing. So all of these investigations were in many respects taking place at the same time. It was determined early on by the Reading police detectives and phone records that they were able to gather that her phone had been stationary in the area of East Huller Lane in Onalani Township. Now that is an area that we will describe in some respects as near the Walmart in Muhlenberg Township. As a result of the fact that she had not been found, the cell phone records kind of indicated that things stopped in that area. As a result, the Reading Police Department then went to that area and discovered Geraldina's body on an access road off of East Huller Lane. However, at that time, her one-year-old son was not found. Additional investigation indicated that Geraldina and Jaden had entered a car, which was later determined to be the car of the defendant, Jose Luis Rodriguez. During an interview with the defendant admitted to having some sort of relationship with Geraldina. The defendant admitted that on Friday, September 12th, 2025, that he had picked up Geraldina and Jaden, and that it was his intention to drive to the area of East Huller Lane to kill Geraldina because she did not want to leave her husband, Junior Cabrera Colon, that was the body that was found in Bear Park in the city of Reading. The defendant indicated to detectives that he was infuriated because he said that Geraldina was taking his money, and he admitted that he shot Geraldina in the back of the head in the area of Huller Lane in Onalani Township. The defendant then took Jaden down the street and threw him in a lake close to where Geraldina had been killed. The defendant confirmed that Jaden was alive when he threw him face down in the muddy water. Now, I referred to that as a lake. I think it's better referred to as a pond, an area of some water. It's nothing deep or anything like that. The defendant admitted that he did everything by himself and then no one else took part in it. On Saturday, September 20th, 2025, Jaden's body was found approximately 150 yards west of where Geraldina had been found the day before. He was partially submerged in thick mud and water in an algae-covered stagnant body of water. It's approximately 10 to 15 feet from the shoreline. On Monday, that Monday, Berks County detectives met with the defendant again, and he agreed, and he showed the detectives where he put Geraldina's purse and cell phone, as well as the gun he had used to shoot her. That purse and cell phone were recovered in the 1500 block of North 5th Street. The gun that was used to shoot Geraldina was found underneath the rear porch steps of a home in the 1500 block of Center Avenue. Detectives have located that black 9mm semi-automatic handgun. That handgun was stolen most likely in June of this year. An autopsy indicated that Geraldina was shot in the skull, in the back of her skull. Her cause of death was a single gunshot wound. The autopsy for Jaden, the 1-year-old child, indicated there was no sign of external trauma. Jaden was alive at the time he was submerged into the water, and the autopsy revealed that there was mud in his lungs. The cause of death was determined to be freshwater drowning. After Geraldina and Jaden were murdered, the defendant murdered Junior Cabrera Colon. Now, his body was found by patrol officers for the city of Reading in the vicinity of Bear Park near the basketball courts. It was determined that Cabrera suffered, again, a gunshot to the back of his head. That is the investigation that started all of this, the finding of the body in Bear Park. But it was actually the last murder that he committed. The investigation by detectives with the Reading Police Department determined that Cabrera's body was dumped in Bear Park, and as a result of video, a car that was matching the description was then later found in the area of 1500 block of Pear Street. That vehicle was initially towed as a result of a parking violation. Investigators followed up when looking at the vehicle. When they saw blood inside, they saw blood in the front driver, front passenger, and rear driver's seat, and a spent shell casing could also be seen in the middle console. As a result, the Reading Police Department obtained a search warrant for that vehicle during this investigation. There were numerous interviews with the defendant and others. Those interviews, in those interviews, the defendant, Rodriguez, claimed that Cabrera argued with him about his involvement with Peguero Mancebo, Geraldine Peguero Mancebo, and a physical altercation took place in the 1500 block of Pear Street. Rodriguez told the police that during this altercation, a gun was knocked out of Cabrera's hand, and that Rodriguez picked up the gun and fired one shot at Cabrera, hitting him in the back of the head. Rodriguez admitted he put Cabrera's body into Cabrera's car and drove him to the park where he left his body. Now, we're still in the initial parts of the investigation. I would suggest most likely that his version is only partially accurate. This individual has now been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and abuse of corpse and associated charges. I don't think that any of us can imagine the tragedy that took place here and how horrific this crime was. The loss of life of these adults that were killed was unnecessary. The loss of life of that 1-year-old was cruel. It was horrible. This was a extremely difficult case. I just want to thank the Reading Police Department, the Berks County Detectives, the Northern Berks Regional Police Department for their thorough investigation. This horrific crime was solved as a result of just dedicated work of the detectives involved in this case as they pieced this together, and they worked as a team, and they should all receive a lot of credit for that. As a result, we promptly took this murderer off our streets, and we have an individual here who committed some atrocious acts that just are unimaginable. We will avail ourselves, or will allow you to obtain copies of the affidavits of probable cause and criminal complaints, so you can review them. But I will tell you that we look forward to the prosecution of this defendant. We will be considering filing a notice to seek the death penalty. We have not made any final decision as we speak, but I can't imagine anything more horrifying than throwing that 1-year-old child into that pond of water, and that child is left there to die. Thank you. Any questions?
I can see this is affecting you personally. I mean, how do you process this kind of lack of humanity in a case like this?
I don't think you can. You can't. I just was shocked. And, you know, unfortunately, in our jobs, we deal with bad things all the time. This is a different level. It's a different level. And in reflection, it just makes me want to cry. It's horrible. Defenseless 1-year-old.
Did he say how long he had been planning the murders?
I don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. But we do know that through the entangled relationship that there was, that something must have caused this behavior, because Mr. Rodriguez had no prior criminal history. So something happened. We don't know when or why he intentionally killed these 3 people.
Is it fair to describe the relationship as a romantic relationship?
That is still part of our investigation.
You're not sure.
We are not sure. We know there was some sort of relationship, including the fact that Mr. Rodriguez had rented an apartment at the Lincoln Tower Apartments off of 5th Street for Peguero Mancebo, but we don't know in depth the actual extent of this relationship. So I would hate to make a misstatement about that, but that will be part of our ongoing investigation to try to determine the relationship and what was involved. But no matter what, no one deserved to die.
Do you know how long they knew each other for? Approximately.
No, I don't. Off the top of my, you mean Peguero Mancebo, Geraldine, and the defendant?
The defendant, yeah.
I do not know that how long that they knew each other. I can tell you over a year. That is certain, over a year, but I don't know exactly how long they knew each other.
Did they work together at Amazon?
We do believe that they met working at warehouses off of 61, and I think it was called Reveal. And but I know that the defendant, Jose Rodriguez, was no longer working there. But that is one. We do know that they worked in the same warehouse in off of Route 61 as you go north outside of the city, and most likely on Alani Township area also, or I'm not exactly sure which township, but north on 61 there's a number of warehouses, and they work together up there. However, Jose Rodriguez at the time of this homicide, we believe, was working at Bell and Evans, a chicken processing in the upper parts of Berks County.
In some of the paperwork, he described someone named Alex who used to work at that warehouse. Is that was he talking about himself?
I think that was Alex was. I don't know that we know exactly who Alex is. Alex was. I think the defendant was trying to blame it on Alex. That's what Alex was. And Alex, I'm sure will, if Alex does exist, we'll determine who he was during our ongoing investigation. But you know, the defendant has made admissions to all 3 homicides. He has admitted what he did.
You can say he confessed to all 3?
Yes. he admitted that he threw that baby in the pond.
Did he have any assistance though?
We at this point do not believe that anyone else may have been involved, but that's under investigation also. Was there a second person involved with the one of the homicides? We'll be looking into that. Excuse me, but at this point, Jose Rodriguez has been charged with all 3 murders. Yes, it's an ongoing investigation, and if we determine that someone else had some part of the murder, and I think if anyone had any part in any of the homicides, the only homicide would have been of Mr. Cabrera. But at this point, we have no additional information, but again, we'll be looking for. If there's any additional information that is provided to police, we will thoroughly investigate that and make a determination if anyone else was involved.
During the search of his property, did you find anything else that would have led you to believing that he did this alone, or he did it at all early on?
Search of what property?
His property? His home or anything?
Oh, the defendant's property?
Yes, yes.
No. A lot of the evidence that we were able to uncover as a result of a search warrant was uncovered from that vehicle. And I do not believe that we executed a search warrant at his home. That I may be mistaken, but nothing was found. Yeah, it was just the vehicle was our main focus.
Just to clarify, is that a photograph of the 3 victims?
Yes, that is the victim, Geraldine Peguero.
Can you cycle through those?
And yes, that
I
is,
can send you that.
yeah, we will send you that. But that is the victim, Geraldine Peguero Mancebo, 31 years of age.
Yes.
The baby, Jaden Peguero, 1 year of age. And the other person depicted on that other photograph was the husband, Junior Cabrera Colon, or the father of the victim.
And it was during questioning about the vehicle, when he was shown this picture of the vehicle, and he claimed he couldn't see the vehicle and didn't know if it was his or not. And is that how he was taken into custody?
Well, I mean, he gave statements that were inconsistent, and the police followed up those statements and provided and presented video evidence to him, which really led to the police being able to obtain the truth. Because he initially, as many times, defendants don't come into the police station and lay it all out. That rarely happens. But the police did a thorough job in obtaining video evidence throughout the city of Reading and also from some other locations. And that video evidence is going to be a large part of putting this case together. And I have to commend the Reading Police again. There are a lot of hands on deck here. They collected video evidence from various locations, which were able to lead them to be able to question the defendant. And when the defendant lied, they were able to show him, no, this is your car. And I think it led the defendant to admitting to his actions. Of course, partial truth and partial false statements too, involved in what he was telling the police.
Which is his actual immigration status? Rodriguez's status?
Immigration?
Yeah.
Okay, the defendant is here legally, a green card. He is from the Dominican Republic. Correct? Yeah, Dominican Republic. He is here legally. So we do know that. But he is not, we do not believe he is a citizen, but he was here legally. And as I stated, no prior criminal history.
How many charges is facing Mr. Rodriguez right now?
How many charges? Well, he's facing numerous charges. Most importantly, 3 counts of first-degree murder, 3 counts of third-degree murder, aggravated assault, abuse of corpse, and some related charges, including firearms not to be carried without a license. So he is facing many multiple felony charges.
Mr. Dia, you mentioned the gun was stolen. Did he steal that gun, you know, or how?
We have no evidence that he stole that gun. We know that the gun was stolen because the gun was probably stolen while being transported through UPS. It was stolen. We don't know where. We know it was in June of 2025. We have no idea. We don't have any evidence as to who stole the gun. Somehow he obtained that firearm. We don't know how he obtained that firearm. But again, we will continue to look into that. But the firearm was stolen. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming. This was I know that there were a lot of questions as to, we didn't rush. Once we had this individual in custody, we needed to take our time to develop our case, to develop our investigation into Geraldine and the babies, how they were murdered. So this is very, very tragic case, very tragic. Thank you for coming here today.
Family's willing to talk to us.
What?
Is family willing to talk to us? I don't want to be an asshole.
What?
Would they be willing to talk to us, the family?
Oh, go ahead. Talk to. I don't know they speak English.